Aloha, Light Guardians and Shifters, and welcome to another special rebroadcast, re-recording of an Ibble event. Again, I'll just go over a quick introduction if you're not familiar. Ibble is a really cool conscious app that myself and fellow conscious creators have been recently getting involved with. And if you're not already on Ibble, we invite you to be able to join. Again, the app is still in development, but it's getting better every day. And us being able to get on there together as a community is a great way to be able to create our foundations as the app continues to grow. So again, the format of the app is creators can submit 60-second videos or audios to be able to spark a thread, spark a discussion, invite people to add their contributions, and then members and users within the app can respond with their own 60-second videos or audio replies. And with that, it creates a really cool way of interacting and contributing and co-creating some really awesome artistic art pieces in the form of conversation and so much more. So this is going to be our Conscious Campfire event. It went really well, and again, this is going to be basically the event itself. It was like it was me holding space and inviting people to be able to reflect on some specific question prompts, and yeah, it turned out really well, and there's going to be more of these. So if you enjoy the recording of this, make sure that you get onto Ibble, follow me there at Mystic Spider-Man, check out the links in the info for this video. You can check out our custom conscious creator feed, you can check out the document that lists my username and the username of all the other conscious creators within our community on there as well. And yeah, please feel free to interact and leave your comments here on YouTube as well as on future Ibble events as well. So if you have any questions about Ibble, please feel free to let me know. All the links that you need to get involved and download are in your profile, are in the info for this video and in my profile links on Instagram and TikTok. You guys know how it works. So anyways, uploading this here so that more people can enjoy it. And again, if you have any questions about Ibble, feel free to reach out anytime. With that said, this is a recording for the event, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it will probably be a little bit glitchy, but just focus on the audio. And for those of you on Spotify, enjoy as well. And it may be a little bit glitchy here and there. Again, I'm kind of doing a roundabout way of re-uploading it, so if it sounds like it's a little bit glitchy, just keep that in mind. But nonetheless, hope to be able to see you on Ibble App in the future, and enjoy this inspiring, heart-opening, mind-expanding discussion of our Conscious Campfire. With that said, starting the recording in Ibble, you'll hear the intro music, and then from there, the event will begin. So enjoy, and please leave some comments on YouTube if you check this out in the future. Much love. Thanks for the support. Hello friends, and welcome to the Conscious Campfire. I'm your host, your facilitator, Brendon, Mystic Spider-Man. This is going to be a very special event. So for those of you who are seeing this ahead of time, the way how this is going to work, it's going to be a bit experimental, but this is going to be an invitation for you to be able to take part in a series of question prompts. Now we're going to start off with one question prompt before the event actually begins, and we encourage you to submit your responses ahead of time. And then if you're able to join in live, stay tuned for the experience, and we'll be adding in many more question prompts that you will be able to interact with as we continue to be able to connect deeper within the community and deeper within our own hearts. So the first starting question prompt is the question, when you think of the word love, what do you imagine within your heart? So go ahead, take some time, reflect, add your response, join in live, and take part in this really cool, inspirational community event. Thank you so much, and leave some comments if you plan on attending. Much love. Aloha and welcome everyone to another very special event here on Ibble. This is our Conscious Campfire. I'm your host, facilitator, Brendon, aka Mystic Spider-Man. So glad to be able to have you here. Over the next couple videos, I'll be doing a little bit of an introduction, telling you about what to be able to expect, sharing some of the intention, and then from there, we're going to get right into some of our preliminary responses. So tonight's event, think of it as almost a co-created journaling experience. So this is a little bit experimental, and the way how this is going to work is I'm going to present you with different prompts, and you, as a participant, are going to share your responses, and then we're going to weave them together. So first off, to be able to participate on this, leave a comment on this video to let me know that you're here tuned in live. If you're watching this in the future, you can participate anyways and respond in whatever order you wish. The first prompt for tonight that we'll be inviting you to be able to share, I'll share in the next clip. So stick around, leave a comment if you're here, and thank you so much for joining the Conscious Campfire. So as we get things started here, allow me to take a moment just to be able to share a little bit of the intention behind creating this space, as well as introduce myself. Many of you already know me, some of you don't. Again, my name is Brendon, Mystic Spider-Man. I've been creating conscious media for several lifetimes and centuries and so forth. I facilitate Paradigm Shift Central. It's a community of conscious creators, conscious media creators, and spiritual seekers, shifters, people who are actively helping assist with the shift in consciousness. So part of the intention behind this event, as well as many of the events that we host here through Ibble, it's designed to be able to help connect you into your heart space. So with this in mind, I invite you to just be able to allow yourself to arrive into this campfire vibe. If you got something cozy to bring with you to the campfire, you can bring that alongside and just get yourself in a situation and in a mindset where you can just open yourself up to being able to receive the journey that we are here to go on together. So with that said, I'm going to introduce the first prompt right after this. So thank you again for being here. So what we'll do, we'll start off not only by sharing the first prompt, but also the second prompt. And the reason for this is because the first prompt was already shared before we began the event. Some of you have already submitted your response to this. If you have already submitted your first response, then go ahead and move right into the next response. With any of these prompts that we're sharing, again, standard reminder here on Ibble, use the spark button if you want to be able to launch any of these responses into a brand new thread, and I'll reply to that shortly after this event. So the first prompt, and as we take a moment to be able to reflect on these, I really invite you to be able to arrive into your heart while sharing. The first prompt, when you think of the word love, what do you imagine within your heart? When you think of the word love, what do you imagine within your heart? So take a moment to be able to reflect on that. And for those of you who are ready for the second prompt, stay tuned, here it comes. And so now for the second prompt. So again, this is a bit experimental, but I'm sharing both of these now so that you can submit them, and then by the time we catch up with them, we'll be ready for the second responses after we get through the first ones. We'll figure it out as we go. The second prompt, so if you've already done the first one and you're ready to do the second one, the second prompt is, what does it feel like when you are acting from the heart? What does it feel like for you when you are acting from the heart? So again, with any of these, really inviting you and just inviting all of us here to really just take an opportunity to just connect in with our heart space right now. So if you want to just join me to gently just breathe. And soft, gentle exhales. And just allow that ambience in the setting of the campfire to be able to guide you. So looking forward to hearing your responses, and yeah, let's get started. So with our first two prompts brought into the circle, now we'll be moving into the responses. And now the exciting part for me is that I know a good handful of you have already submitted responses for the first prompts. I haven't even fully listened to your responses just yet. I'm waiting for this moment right now to be able to hear them. And then from there, I'll respond and then I'll pass it into the next prompt. Now, before we even get into our very first response, we're actually going to pass it over to a quick little clip from our good friend Luna, who just has some kind words that she wants to be able to share here for today's event. So Luna, many of you will recognize her from the past events that we've done about being spiritual in 2022. Thank you for contributing. And yeah, with that said, I will pass it over to Luna's first contribution. Thanks again, everyone.
Hello, all my lovely soul family. I'm excited for the campfire. Let's get into this. What we're going to be talking about. What kind of healing vibes are there going to be? So excited. Thank you guys for holding this space for us to feel safe and seen. Hello.
So thank you again, Luna, for being here, for joining in live. Thank you to the rest of you who are here live, and to those of you watching in the future as well. So again, as we move forward into our responses, really just inviting you to just kind of like hold this image in your mind of all of us just kind of like sitting down by the water, maybe sitting in a forest, and just sitting around this campfire. Like the campfire, like what does that represent? You know, it brings us together as a community. It's very intentional. So as Luna said, we hope that this event serves for you as a way to be able to connect you back to your heart in a way that can be inspiring, healing, nurturing, all of those things and more. So with that said, I'm going to respond with my own answer to the first prompt a little bit later, but I want to be able to hear from some of you who have already submitted your responses. And again, there's still time for the people tuned in to submit your responses as well. So for our first response, let's hear from Kristen first. So passing it over to Kristen.
Thank you so much, Brendon, for this absolutely gorgeous discussion topic. What do I imagine when I hear the word love? I immediately go to this deep well of emerald green. Peace is the best way to describe it. Understanding and acceptance. I think for me, the biggest important, most cherished part that comes up whenever I think of the word love is diversity, because there are so many ways for love to show up in my life and how I get the opportunity to share and express it. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's discussion topics and spending some time around the campfire with each and every one of you.
Thank you again, Kristen, for your response. And I'll just say a little bit here and then we'll pass it to the next person. And again, I think this is a very interesting question because it's like, oh, what do we imagine, right? It's like what comes up, what arises within our heart when we focus on the concept, on the vibration of love, you know, this idea of love, there's an energy to it. So if we just allow that energy to be present within our heart, it's like what grows from that, what naturally arises. And sometimes it's feelings, sometimes it's images, sometimes it's like ethereal, sometimes it's ineffable. So again, this is just a practice. There's no right or wrong answer. And for those of you who are still tuned in, looking to be able to add your response, again, feel free. What do you imagine when you think of the word love? What do you imagine within your heart? So if you want to add that first response, go to it. If you want to add the second response, add them now, and we'll keep moving forward from here. Our next response is from Natasha.
Brendon, I'm excited about this event and the crackling fire sounds. Oh my god, I am loving them. But what do I imagine in my heart when I hear love? I imagine people. I felt the love from you as you were saying it. I was like, you are love, Brendon. You are. We all are love. And I think it's just, I think of humans, honestly, and our connection to each other, and, you know, the cliche of we are all one, but I feel like we're all connected in love, through love. We are love. Yeah, simple answer, but it's what I feel. So thanks for hosting this. Excited. Much love. Bye.
Thank you, Natasha. You guys know how I said earlier, I'm like, oh yeah, like I won't listen to all the responses until this moment. That was why. Because then you get to see this like genuine reaction from me. Natasha, you light me up. You are love. And you know, again, even just as we're sitting here, it's just like, oh, what do we imagine when we think of love? It's just like, man, if you're lucky enough to be sitting across from, not sure why, but for some reason it cut my clip off short there, but I didn't want to go back and refilm that. Again, what you guys saw was real. But what I was saying, I was talking more and then I don't know why I glitched out, but anyways, what I was saying is like, man, if you're fortunate enough to be able to be sitting across from someone, when you're reflecting on that, you can be like, well, I don't have to imagine anything because I see you. I see you with not just my eyes, but I see you with my heart. And that's a very powerful thing, right? To be able to be like, oh, well, maybe I don't have to imagine anything because it's already right in front of me. Maybe all I have to do is look out the window, look outside of myself. So again, just us asking this question kind of like brings up a million more branches. And please spark this. I get bonus points when you guys spark these videos. So if you guys want to spark any of these, go for it. But let's keep the conversation rolling and let's pass it to Melissa next. So thank you again, everyone. I'm having fun here.
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much, Brendon, for holding this beautiful event and this sacred space for us to open our hearts and open our minds on this awesome topic. What does my heart imagine when I think of love? I first think of nature and how nature is always, we're not separate from nature first and foremost. And I love how no matter what or who, what, where, it doesn't matter who we are, what we're doing, or where we're at, nature is always supporting us. It's literally the ground holding us up under our feet. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful act of unconditional love, and that we get to be reflections of that in human form. And I think that is so beautiful. Thank you so much, Brendon. I'm so excited for this event.
Wow, Melissa, thank you so much for that beautiful response and the imagery. And yeah, I like that idea. It's like, oh, what do you imagine? It's just like trees, nature, forests, something that is within its nature. And maybe that's why for us humans, maybe that's why sometimes we struggle when we talk about love, because we've kind of removed ourselves from our own nature. Yet the closer we get back to nature and to our own nature, we realize that love is the default. Love is the experience. Love is growth. Love is the blossoming seed. Love is the tree and the roots and the entire ecosystem. So I love that answer. And again, I think love is the way that we naturally dissolve boundaries, and dissolving boundaries opens up more love. So, but anyways, enough about me. Let's keep passing this talking stick around. We're going to pass it over to Jukebox Ginger next. Tongue twister there. And then after that, we'll hear from Melissa. And I think we got a few more, and then we're on to the second prompt. Love you guys.
Brendon, that's a great question. I grew up multiple divorces on both sides of the family. I went to church 4 days a week. I'd come home and get beat by my stepdad. So the vision of love for me is pretty in depth. I don't think that I've experienced enough of it, if that makes sense. So I think the idea of love is different depending on the person and the way they're raised, which goes along with any kind of emotion, really, right? Fear and pain, same thing. What could be pain to you could be pleasure to somebody else. I've been married for 6-7 years. I'm pretty sure we love each other. When we say it, but how do you really know? What is the ultimate response to that? Like, how do you know that you're in love?
Thank you so much, Jukebox Ginger, for that response. And again, I hope in you being here, everyone being here, as you get to listen to these, I hope that listening to these is the practice in itself, which helps you kind of reflect more within your own responses as well. And Jukebox brings up a great point. I'm just going to hit upon this real quick, and then we're going to pass it to Luna, and then I think we got maybe one or two, and then we'll be on to our next prompt. And I'll tell you guys the third prompt in a minute so that you can get ahead of it after Luna. But it's interesting because Jukebox brings up a very important point where it's like, people only know the love that they've been given. Like, think deep on that, right? Like, people know love based on examples of love that they see. So with that, this is also a call to action and a chance for us to really bring that intention to be able to say, like, well, what love am I showing to other people? Maybe people who don't really know many forms of love. And how can your form of love transform them as well? So let's hear from Luna next.
Hi, Brendon. Welcome to the campfire. This is exciting. When I think of love, I think about Source, God, Creator. Like, it just fills me with so much joy and happiness. And I think that we all are love. And I think that God is love. And it's the same energy that flows intrinsically and through everything. It's an intelligence that we are just beginning to understand in deeper ways. And so love is something that I hold very dear to my heart, and I share every single day with everyone. And that is my goal in life, to share more love, because love is a healing force. Hi,
Luna, thank you so much for your beautiful response. And again, I'll just take a moment to respond here, and then I'm gonna take a minute and add my own response to this question. I'll respond to Luna, and then I'll tell you guys the third prompt, and then I'll respond, and then we'll get into our second prompt answers. But it's interesting because what Luna says, you know, for me, this brings up a very powerful idea where it's like, wait a second, like love isn't just this like abstract thing. Like, what if love is like an actual part of the equation, like gravity, like light? You know, it's something that can be measured, not necessarily measured in the traditional sense, but undeniably measured through our immediate experience. And I know you even look at like stories of like Einstein, and they literally talked about it. It's like how love actually is like a part of like a gravity, like the equation. It's a part of the equation of the universe. So yeah, love is much bigger than I think we even realize. What we think of as love is just a pinhole to what the truth of love really is. My response coming up next. So before I get into my next response, let's just bring it back to center here and go over a couple of the prompts for those of you who may have missed it. So the first prompt, when you think of love, when you think of the word love, what do you imagine within your heart? First prompt, add a response if you missed it. Second prompt, what does it feel like for you when you are acting from your heart? What does it feel like for you when you are acting from your heart? Some of you have submitted responses for those. We'll get into those shortly. Third prompt, and I think we're only going to do 4 prompts. Like, I think that's it. So 2 more after this one. Third prompt after the second one. Use your imagination and describe to us a scene or place in your mind that represents the following feelings: peace, bliss, and awe. Use your imagination to describe a scene or place in your mind that represents the following feelings: peace, bliss, and awe. Looking forward to your guys' responses. So now my response to the first problem. When I imagine the word love, when I think of the word love, what do I imagine within my heart? So let me take a moment here. It's interesting because in this moment, what I imagine is nothing but this moment. To be able to be fully present in the love of here and now is my answer. Now, of course, I can expand on that. You know, I can say like I mean, it's kind of like us, like, you know, like having a jam party down at a beach. But for me, when I imagine love, I imagine these intimate moments, these moments where kind of like the illusions kind of dissolve, and you're with someone, and it's like this psychedelic experience, completely sober yet. I mean, this reality is psychedelic. But for me, the present moment is the place where we will always find love. That's my response. So just taking a moment here to thank everyone for being a part of this event. And so again, it's a bit experimental, so we'll get into the second responses. For those of you who maybe are joining in or watching in the future, keep adding your responses. We'll tag them on to the end. We'll figure it out. And again, go ahead and submit your third response if you haven't yet. We may end after the third response. It depends how many people are actively engaged. If we can get even just like 3 people responding to the third one, then I'll share with you the fourth one. And then the fourth one's like really good. So I'd love for you guys to be able to stick around for that if you're able to, or join in whenever you get a chance. So with that said, we'll keep things moving along. I appreciate you guys being here, for being a part of this co-created artistic expression. And yeah, keep adding your responses to the first 3 prompts. And let's take a moment here to be able to begin hearing some of the prompts from the second question. So the second question being, what does it feel like when you act from the heart? Let's start off with Melissa. Thanks so much, everyone.
I love this question. I love being able to reflect on how it feels when you're acting from the heart, because it feels so good. Like, it literally feels like there's nothing coming through my mind. I'm literally just fully present, and all I want to do is just like literally give out joy to every single person that I come in contact with. And I am literally just wanting to express my love to every part of nature and everything, because I'm just like, oh, look at that beautiful cloud and this ant, and oh my gosh, like this field of grass is just so vibrant, like things like that. It's just like, I just have so much appreciation for life in general when I'm fully heart-centered. So yeah, I love it, man.
Thank you again, Melissa. Beautiful response. And just gotta plug it here, guys. If you're not following Melissa, check her stuff out. She's got a special breathwork event coming up tomorrow on February 10th. There you go. Anyways, that's what love is. That's what acting from the heart is. Acting from the heart, not that I'm sharing my full response, but just reflecting on what Melissa says, is like the wantingness to give. I remember even, this kind of ties in with our broadcast tomorrow on spiritual wisdom of healthy relationships. But one of the things that for me, through my own wisdom of heartbreak and everything like that, and going through relationships and breakup and stuff like that, eventually I came to this deep realization that for me, like, deep love was the idea of wanting to give. And to give, to be able to see people grow and expand and to evolve into their own expressions and then everything of that matter. So yeah, Melissa, I love that. I love the idea that it's like, yes, when you're acting from your heart, it's like this wantingness to be able to be like, to pass on, to fill others' cup. Let's hear from Luna next.
Hi, Brendon. So what does it feel like when you're acting from the heart? It feels like you're flying. It feels like you're a cloud. Like you're just like, whee! Right? Like you're a cloud. I thought I saw a cloud, like one of those. That's what it feels like. Like nothing can happen to you, nothing can go wrong, and even if it does go wrong, it don't matter because it just fits into place and it gets better and better. It's also called the flow state. Like it's very similar. I think they're kind of the same, but yeah, that's what it feels like. Hi.
Wow, Lena, I'm really enjoying your guys' responses right now. This technology is so trippy, but even still, I can feel the presence that we have just in these conversations that we're creating here on Ibble. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Luna, the cloud thing, I could not think of it, but how does it go? You be water, my friend. You shall find a way around or through it when nothing within you stays rigid. We decide the shape we're in, the waves we bring. Shout out to beautiful chorus. Look up that song, The Waves We Give. But anyways, I love that because again, it's like when you think of the cloud, it's like, well, the cloud's still water. So when we are love, we are shapeless, formless. Let's hear from Natasha next.
What does it feel like for me when I act from the heart? It feels easy. It feels thoughtless. It feels like I'm saying nothing and everything just by being myself. Yeah, and it also feels scary, at least after the fact sometimes. And I feel like that's a good sign that I've done something brave and that we've all done something brave. Yeah. That is my answer. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Natasha, for sharing. And yeah, wow. Beautiful, beautiful answers, everyone. And I'll just say this, we're gonna get into our next prompt. So I'm gonna tell you guys what the last prompt is for today. I'm gonna respond to Natasha real quick, and then we're gonna get into the response from the third question. So just respond to Natasha. Natasha, that's so cool. I love the idea that, yeah, like love sometimes can make us feel like a little scared, a little anxious, a little excited at the same time to want to be able to be like, oh, this is something I'm passionate about. You know, it's like you're giving a speech on stage, or, you know, you're meeting someone who you really admire, or, you know, you're asking someone out for the first time, or you're doing something you've never done before, you know, but this love is like this propelling force. You know, love is, again, kind of going back to what Luna was saying, and we were talking about, it's kind of like this gravity that connects us to the synchronicities of those ever unfolding moments. Beautiful answers, everyone. I can feel my paradigm shifting, so stay tuned. So I'll share the final prompt right after I share my response. So check in with myself. What does it feel like when we're acting from the heart? The words that come to mind, like the feelings that come to mind, are like grace and alignment and strength. Those are kind of like the things that come to mind, because that's what I find like when we are in love, you know, think of love as like a pool of water that you step into. It's like a vibration that you embody. When you are in love, you're in the frequency of love, and when you're in that frequency, I feel like that's also when we're like very much like in the alignment of our golden path, our dharma. So that's what I mean when I say, when I'm like acting from love, it's like I'm one with the river flowing down the stream of life, leading me to my next adventure with a confidence along the way. So All right, so we're almost near the end of the journey. I'm going to share the fourth prompt. So for those of you who have done all of them so far, submit your fourth prompt, and then we're going to check the answers to the third prompts very soon. So the fourth prompt, this one's very, very cool. Imagine you are standing in front of a version of yourself that exists 2 years into the future from now. Explain to us what you would say and what you would do. So imagine, draw this scenario within your mind. You're standing in front of a version of yourself that's 2 years in the future. Maybe you've accomplished your goals, you've done all these things, you've grown, you've learned, you've become more of who you are. What do you say to that version of yourself? Kind of like having an idea of who that version of yourself may be. How do you express yourself? What do you express? What do you say? What do you do? All of that stuff. So go ahead, leave your responses, and let's hear the third responses coming up next, starting with Natasha.
Okay, a place that describes awe, peace, bliss. This moment right here, right now. Yeah, I'm just loving this event, honestly. Can I use this event as my blissful place, please? Because I've been commenting on everyone's posts, and I am feeling explosive love right now. So much love, so much peace, so much awe, so much inspiration in my heart. So thank you, Brendon, for hosting this. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your responses. This is so fucking lovely. Mucho love.
Oh, Natasha. Now watch as like all the responses are that. It's like, oh, it's this moment, it's this moment, this moment. It means we're doing something right. So, Natasha, beautiful, beautiful answer. And I'm glad you guys feel that. You know, like that's, yeah, it's wonderful to hear. Let's keep moving into the next responses, and I believe we do have some responses coming in from some of the earlier prompts. So after we go through these ones, we'll loop it back around, we'll hold space for some of the people joining a little bit late, and then I'll stick around for however long, and then we'll wrap it up once we're done after that. But thank you again so much to each of you who have added your responses, and let's hear from Melissa, and then let's hear from Luna, and then I'll add a response to this question as well, and then from there, we'll go back, and then we'll bring it all around full circle. So thank you again, Natasha. We love you.
Again, thank you, Brendon, for these amazing mind and heart expanding questions. I am literally just blissed out right now. Okay, so I first imagine, I actually see two things. So I see two scenes. I see one scene where I am on a DJ set playing a huge, like millions of people, like a sea of people, and I'm DJing with a parkour set up in the background. For every time that I like have a drop happen, like in my DJ set, I would do some crazy like parkour move, right? And then, yeah, so that would be like my yang scene. And then my yin scene is sitting on a beach with the most beautiful, colorful sunset I've ever seen. Just on the most calm, still water. So it's a perfect reflection back and forth. Thank you.
Holy shit, Melissa, beautiful answers. Gonna buy some front row tickets to that show, that's for sure. I'll be up there doing parkour with you, why not? Bring the whole crew up on stage. That was so cool. I love that image. And again, you know, like with the intention of this event, like these are just the questions, right? Like the journey is in you being able to open yourself up to the experience. So I'm glad that you guys have been taking part in this, and now you get to be able to experience what maybe you might not have thought of otherwise unless you showed up here and had these questions put in front of you. So thank you for allowing yourself to see those parts of yourself. And that second scene of the sunrise, the sunset over a still lake, wow, like serene. It's cool because with all of your responses, as you share them, I invite all of us here to be able to like see everyone's responses within our hearts. So keep filling that heart up, and yeah, let's hear from Luna next.
The place that represents peace, bliss, and awe, or harmony, I think that those were the words, is my happy place. So I have a happy place that I go to that I created in a meditation. So there is a meditation called Find Your Happy Place, I think. And that basically is your place that you can go to anytime when you feel stressed or worried or whatever. You just need to like zen out. Nothing matters. Everything is perfect. You're in heaven. Look at the moon. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that. But that place is very nice. It has a lot of flowers and open hills. There's a nice view. There's a stream and a tree that I sit under.
Thank you, Luna, and thank you for bringing us outside on a walk with you. Makes it like adds an energy to your responses, and yeah, again, you know, like with this question, you know, for some of us, it's just like oh, I know where that place is. I got that place in my mind, and maybe we have many places, right? You know, like for any of us, just to be able to take a moment to be able to practice visualizing those places that connect us to those experiences of bliss and peace and awe. That's a very powerful thing, you know. So for any of us, like, allow not just your memories, your direct experience, but also to be able to imagine these scenarios that can elicit these vibrations, that can elicit these feelings, which is, you know, so much of what meditation is about. So beautiful, beautiful responses. Thank you again, everyone. I'll add my response to this next, and then after that, I believe we have a few more responses from Iain to be able to add, and then we'll get close to wrapping it up soon enough. Thanks again. Accidentally got a bit ahead of myself there. So we have responses to the fourth prompt, and then after that we'll get close to wrapping things up. So I'll share my response here in a second, and then what I think we'll do, I'll actually go back and I'll add in Iain's, and then we'll get to the fourth prompt, and Iain might even have his fourth prompt by the time we get to the fourth prompt. And again, for anybody else who wants to be able to add in the fourth prompt, that one is: imagine you are standing in front of a version of yourself that exists 2 years into the future from today. Explain to us what you would say and do. So this has been awesome. Allow me to stop and hit the button, and I'm going to record my full response to the third prompt, which is, again, imagining a scene or place in your mind that represents the feelings of peace, bliss, and awe. Stay tuned. So allow me to take us on a little bit of a guided meditation journey. So if you want to close your eyes, join me in imagining this. Imagine this beautiful scene as you walk out of the edge of a woods and you come across this lake, and it's like this beautiful sunset time of day, and there's this waterfall and the lights glistening off the water, and you can hear the birds and all the insects and the sounds of summer. And then up above you, you look up, something energetically catches your attention, and you look up and you see a wolf standing at the side of a cliff, silhouetted against the sky with the moon over its shoulder. And the moment you look at the wolf, you feel its energy, and then it looks back at you. And then in that moment, you see some of its cubs stand on the cliffside, and you kind of have this moment with the wolf, and in it you feel this deep connection to your own spirit and the shared connection between you and it. So let's keep things moving along here. We're going to go back to a response from the first prompt. And again, the first prompt: when you think of love, what do you imagine within your heart? From Iain. And thank you, Iain, and thank you everyone who submitted your responses. Again, if you guys are watching this in the future, go ahead, leave your responses, spark some posts, and we'll contribute them into the thread afterwards. So let's hear from Iain on the first prompt, the second prompt, the third prompt, and then we'll get into the fourth prompt. Much love.
So what do I imagine in my heart when I hear the word love or think of the word love? I would definitely think of the idea of, imagine as an image, a mental image. So first I would now be dropping into what I visualize, and that would be a warm, golden, glowing, and I say warm, that's not even just an image, it's actually the feeling. And as I drop into that expansiveness, it would be a very much an unfolding. If you think of the flower of life unfolding, I can visualize and feel my heart unfolding out into the eternity from that area, and just really warm, comforting, and smooth, clean vibration, alignment.
Wow, Iain, thank you for your response, and welcome to Ibble. For those of you who are regulars here, be sure to follow Iain's account as well. And yeah, just take a moment here to reply, and then we'll pass over to the second prompt. And again, what does it feel like when you're acting from your heart? Beautiful description, Ian. And for me, again, just hearing you say that, like, I'm just like, yes, yes, yes. And very much connects me with kind of my experiences with like psychedelics and everything like that. But again, like those psychedelic experiences show you, you know, that sensation and that realization is always here. It's always here. It's always in that present moment. When, you know, my experiences on psychedelics, I'm looking at everything. It's like, oh my God, like I can see the flower of life, and I can feel like I'm in like this like pool of like golden light, and I can see it around me and everything like that. That's so powerful. But then to know that that is accessible in every moment merely through the breath, turning inwards, activating that inner light. Let's hear from Ian's next response.
When I'm acting from the heart, it really just feels like flow, alignment. Things are just really very clear and obvious. And when I can feel a resonance with other people that might be around, I will usually have like the chills throughout my entire body, that kind of feeling like going up and down my spine, like we are all in harmonious, beautiful vibration. And that's usually what happens when I'm there.
Again, beautiful response, Ian. I'm so glad that you're able to make it. And just taking a quick moment here, and then we'll pass over to Ian's third prompt response. Yeah, like a lot of those, you know, when I think of it, the concept of like truth bumps, you know, you're around someone and be like, oh, like that resonates with me, or being in the flow, the awareness of the synchronicities. It's like, oh, my gods are talking to me. The 1111s are everywhere. It's like, yeah, when you're in your heart, you're kind of connected to this version, like this path that is between you and the future moments unfolding. You know, I talk about this all the time, how the future is like rippling back into the present moment through the heart chakra. So that's why I'm so keen on helping you guys connect to the heart, because I feel honestly like the power of connecting to the heart is the power of being able to connect to the paths of our future that are guiding us intuitively. And yeah, and those activation sensations as well. Super, super beautiful answer, Ian. Thank you so much. Let's hear Ian's third prompt response next.
So a place that inspires peace, bliss, and awe. You know, I could easily say hanging out with my baby boy. It doesn't really matter when he learns something new and watching what happens for him. He's down there getting his nighttime TV that he enjoys so much. But the truth is, it's really not a place. It's a state of being. And that is tied into the questions that you asked previously regarding being in that state of flow, or actually of love. And once I'm in that vibration of love, the peace, bliss, and awe is going to be showing up no matter where I am, because I'm going to be radiating it from my heart. So that's my vibe.
Again, thank you guys so much. This is, you know, when we created this event, again, there was intention put into it. And part of the intention was, it's like, oh, we're kind of creating a little like mystery container. What will we fill it with? And Ian and everybody else who has been here, thank you for filling it with such unique perspectives and wisdom. Genuinely being able to learn from each of you is so much of the reason as to why we do this. And I love hearing all your unique perspectives. Like, all of us are, you know, vessels of love, and yet we perceive love in all of these many faceted ways. I love the way you describe things there, Ian. And again, obviously for myself as, you know, a stepfather and a father to be very soon, I feel that, where it's just like, oh, you know, like imagine these scenes. It's like, man, it's like what I'm imagining is like, you know, and kind of Natasha was talking, it's like this moment right now, or the moments right around the corner, the moments with family, the moments with tribe. Super powerful. Let's hear Luna's response to the fourth prompt next.
So imagining myself 2 years from now, I imagine myself saying, wow, you crazy bitch, you really fucking did it. You really did everything that you set your mind out to do. Like, you actually did every single thing you wanted. Look at you. You ain't worried about a damn thing. You're fully in yourself. And I'm happy that you didn't give up. So
Yes, Luna. I think that's exactly, you know, like I like that phrase. To quote Luna, you crazy fucking bitch. Absolutely, Luna. Beautiful, beautiful answer. And again, in asking this, I hope, for those of you even watching this in the future, like, you don't even have to submit a response for this. You can just kind of like take a moment to be able to reflect on this within your own practice, within your own time, within your own journaling practice. Super, super powerful. Not too much more I need to share. I'll share my response to this a little bit later, but yeah, I hope that for all of us, we can kind of envision really being able to communicate to ourselves, be like, I'm so fucking proud of you. Like, you fucking did it. You pushed through. You're the best. They're just like imagining and doing that. Anyways, I'll share my response a little bit later. We're close to the end. Iain has a response, and then I'll share mine. And then unless anybody has any other responses, we'll wrap it up after that. So let's hear Iain's response to the fourth prompt next.
So I'm standing in front of my 2-year future self, 2 years older, 2 years wiser, hopefully, 2 years happier and greater. Really, I'm actually enjoying this unfolding so much. So I think besides just giving myself a little bit of love and gratitude, I think I'm just gonna roll with seeing how this unfolding continues to go. So that's where I'd be. And thank you so much for creating this space and getting me onto Ibble and testing this out and all the great questions that you had here to really introspect. It really is a beautiful thing that you're doing here. And everybody that's participating, God bless you all. I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you in the future.
Thank you. Thank you again, Iain, and for everyone here as well. I'll just reply to Iain, and then I'll share my response. And then unless there's any like last minute responses, even just of gratitude, you guys want to do that, I'll put a couple extra minutes on the clock. Please go ahead. Any last minute submissions for gratitude, we'll just add those in as well. But yeah, Iain, thank you. Thank you again. And I can feel that where it's just kind of just like, well, maybe I'll just wait till I share my own response, and I'll just kind of like weave it in and stuff like that. Your words speak for themselves, and yeah, this is really cool. So, okay, I'll share my response coming up next. Thanks again, everyone. And yeah, go follow Iain. He does some awesome stuff as well, and you'll see him around, absolutely. Imagine myself standing in front of a version of myself from 2 years in the future. What do I say and do? In addition to smiling, I would like kind of like shake their hand in a very like kind of like firm way, and then kind of like pull it into a hug. I'd really hug myself, it'd be like it becomes some sort of like weird mirror thing where it's like the free hug thing, and it's like me free hugging myself, and maybe the universe will explode at that point. Who knows? But I would, again, kind of similar to what your guys' answers would say, and I would just be like, thank you, like you fucking did it. Enjoy this. Enjoy it. You've earned this. This is for you. Thank you for being able to receive it. And thank you for stepping into it. You have fulfilled your life purpose, and yet there is still more to come. So, yeah. So at this point, getting close to being able to conclude this very special conscious campfire, and the campfire is still crackling and the stars are out, and we're just kind of enjoying this ambiance and just really inviting in this scene within our minds, and knowing that we can return to it within our hearts at any time. Even though this event may end, it doesn't end. It exists within us. So again, just kind of taking a moment here to just be able to express my gratitude to everyone here. I'll be doing more of these conscious campfire events. Again, there's a million other questions for us to be able to explore. So please join us again for future ones. Maybe if you missed this one live. And yeah, I'll just hold space here. I'll keep the event open for a little bit. If there's any last minute gratitude, you'll see it in a second. But other than that, I'm just gonna get close to wrapping this up. Spark some of these posts if you guys want to be able to create some new threads. And yeah, this has been awesome. I love you guys.
Thank you, Brendon, for this awesome fucking space. You always create amazing spaces for everyone's faces. For everyone to just truly be themselves, and it's a truly safe space. No judgment zone, just really wanting to connect with the divine and really showing everyone that everyone is an emanation of the divine, really spreading that love. And thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for everyone who attended and made videos and made comments and everything. Like, you guys are awesome. Love the community. Super cool vibes. When's the next campfire?
Thank you, Luna. More spaces for faces. I think that's that's like a subgenre of events right there. Spaces for faces. Spaces for many faces. Many spaces for many faces. Anyways, it's getting to that point in the night where the energy, and I hope, like, you know, for anybody, please feel free to even leave comments with your feedback. Like, how are you feeling right now after experiencing this event? Because you're not just watching it, you're experiencing the energy that we've created within this space. And again, it's not just a space that's on your phone, it's a space that we've created, like, energetically between one another, non-locally. So Luna, thank you again. If you guys aren't following Luna yet, be sure to do that. Go connect with her profile. She's got a lot of awesome threads that will open your heart and expand your mind as well. So I'll hang tight here real quick. There might be a couple other more responses. I'll add those in. If there's not, leave some comments, and then I'll do one more video wrapping it up. And yeah, this is awesome. I love you guys. So we're not done yet. Some good news. Seelman actually submitted some responses, and he posted them as Spark. So I'm gonna have to, like, try adding them. Hopefully this works. Again, for those of you, even for the future, I apologize if I mentioned this at the beginning, but when you're adding your response, use the ask a question button. I know it says ask a question, but you're adding your response. The Spark button is when you take a post and you kind of like branch it into a new thread, and then I can reply to that separately on another day. But let's just take a moment here to kind of rewind and take a couple more moments just to be able to hear a little bit from Silomon's responses as well. I'll hold space here within the next little bit, so we'll get close to wrapping it up. But yeah, just enjoy the atmosphere. If you guys have to leave early, please take your belongings with you, drive home safe, and I love you all so much. For those of you sticking around, let's keep things going just for a little bit longer and hear what Silomon has to share.
When I think of the word love in my heart, I imagine there is like a little seed that was planted from Source, because God and Source are like made of pure love, is love, and that resides within all of us. And then we all can create these beautiful memories together, and I'm imagining like warm hugs with my mom, and going on beautiful adventures with my Shannon, and kissing my cat on the forehead, and just like moments like that just kind of light up that little love seed within my heart.
Wow, thank you, Silomon, so much for adding that. And guys, be sure to follow Silomon. I've tagged him here in the post. And I love those imageries of just like, yeah, like hugging family members, kissing your cat on the forehead, those little moments, like any moment where it's like between us and another being, or us and any form of consciousness, you know, like, can you feel those moments of love between yourself and like a little bug on the ground or something like that? You know, if anything, I hope out of this event, let's all kind of take with it a call to action to be able to kind of like, you know, work on being able to experience those moments of love, even in like the little moments, you know, like it's like allow yourself to be able to invite more love. Kind of like Silo was saying, you know, it's like watering the seed of love inside of you. It takes conscious intention, conscious awareness, conscious connection. It's a connection between ourselves and another that is like this electric bandwidth that creates the current of love. So Silo's got another response. Let's hear from that next.
When acting from the heart, it feels like this, just pure, vibrant, really uplifting energy that overcomes my energy and my body and my mind, to where I'm really in tune with the moment and really in tune with the divine, and just feel this really euphoric emotions running through my body. And I'm grateful to be able to experience so many different feelings, including and especially love.
Thank you so much again, Silomon. And for those of you who are trying to follow Cian, again, Ibble's still getting better every day. Go back to the previous post, so like the thread that I added from him, and it says like added by Mystic Spider-Man. Click that button, and that will take you to his profile, and then follow him there. I don't think the tags work sometimes. Anyways, just housekeeping stuff. But yeah, very powerful response, CeeLo. And again, I like this idea that it's like, yes, when it's like when we are feeling from the heart, it's like we allow ourselves to become deeply present. And so, you know, again, like from this event, I hope more of you are feeling that presence. You are present in this moment, and allow yourself to continue to cultivate that presence through your personal practices and carry it with you. Allow yourself to kind of check in, and you don't have to be present every single second. That's okay, but allow yourself to create space for those moments when you can really experience the gift of being present, and therefore the love as a result of that. And so with that said, we are close to concluding this event, and again, we'll keep this thread open, so for those of you watching in the future, please feel free to add in your replies, your responses. I'll put them all in the comments on this post, that way, so in case you just need the reminder, you can go back and listen to them. But yeah, this has been really wonderful. It's been, again, an awesome opportunity for us to be able to practice using this new technology. It's been heart opening. It's been heart expanding. I feel my face hurts from smiling. That's always a good feeling. I feel like I'm ready to kind of like, just kind of like at a festival where it's like, okay, like I've been sitting around the campfire, now to like slowly wander and wobble my way back to my tent. Like that's like the energy I kind of feel right now. This kind of like blissful tiredness, but also just like deep presence and deep love. So I'll just put one more video on the end of this, and thank you guys again. Please feel free to leave your comments of gratitude. Oh, what's that? Yeah, it's not over yet. Luna came in with a last minute response, but pretty cool synchronicity. Check this out. Hear what Luna had to share.
So I was listening to the responses, and my computer just turned on its own, and it just turned off again. But it started playing this song. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way.
So thank you again, Luna. Thank you, everyone. This is the last clip for tonight, and again, I'll keep the thread open, but we're gonna just allow ourselves to start winding down from here. Be sure to follow me for ongoing events if you aren't already yet. You can connect with me with other platforms. Check out the link in my profile. Be sure to check out the link in my profile. We got our custom Ibble creator feed for other conscious creators that we got kind of here on the platform that I would encourage you to be able to check out as well. And be sure to invite some of your friends to Ibble. Again, Ibble is getting better every day, and for us to be here now is a very, very exciting time to build these foundations, to practice, and that's really all tonight was, and I think we did a great job practicing. So thank you guys for helping co-create this, for showing what's possible on this app, for being a part of this experience, and most importantly, for carrying this love with you. So I invite you to carry this love with you and share it with those who you continue to meet. My name is Brendon, Mystic Spider-Man. Happy to be here on Ibble. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your evening/day. Love you guys. So thank you again, Luna.
All right, so there we go, everyone. Brendon here, back in real time, and yeah, that was a beautiful, lovely event. So I'm so glad that you guys were able to check out the recording of this, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify, and just adding some conclusions here. Again, be sure to join us on Ibble. Follow the links in the info for this video, and if you have any questions, as always, let me know. I'm excited to be able to have more of you on there, for you guys to be able to add to our threads, add to our ongoing event, add to future conscious campfires, create your own threads, create your own events, all sorts of cool stuff. And yeah, that's it for today. So I love you guys. Stay tuned. Usually I'm doing Ibble events every Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, and then we got our regular Paradigm Shift Central community podcasts on Thursdays at 8 p.m. EST. So join the Discord, do all that stuff, support on Patreon. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, and we will see you guys next time. Much love. Have a beautiful rest of your conscious expanding experience. I'm trying not to repeat the exact same I said in the Ibble video. Anyways, keep it shifty, guys. Welcome to the future. Much love.